Welcome to Center Cup. I am Will Neary. I'm here with Nick Newmeyer. We've got a fun one for you today. A little bonus episode, Nick. We got a bonus episode for the people coming out on Thursday. We never release on Thursday, but it's for good reason. We've got Dylan Menante joining the show. As you can see if you're watching. If not, I just told you. Dylan Menante, Korn Ferry Tour winner, won the Tulum Championship earlier this year, just coming off a second-place finish at the Evans Scholars Invitational. And he's out in Utah this week. He called us straight from his, I guess, a host family, a friend of his. He's staying with a friend of his out in Utah. He gave us a call. We talked for a while. It was a great interview. So definitely stay tuned for that. Before we get there, though, there's a little bit of quick stuff we should hit that came out in the very brief time between Nick and Kyle recording their just splendid AIG Women's Open and Rocket Classic preview show. Until right about now. And Nick, the big one there is that the PGA Tour has suspended Trey Mullinax for violating their anti-doping policy, anti-PED policy. Trey claims, and I tend to believe him, I'd like to see the good in people, but claims that it was unintentional and it was just medicinal. But curious to hear, what was your reaction? We don't get a lot of PGA Tour doping accusations flying left and right. It's not one of those leagues really, but I'm curious to hear what your reaction was.
Yeah, I guess my first thought was kind of what you just said about how there is no real doping problems on the tour. We never really see that. And the first thought that came in my mind was that he's getting suspended for 6 months. And I thought to myself, man, isn't this the perfect time to get suspended on the PGA Tour? Just because I guess you missed the playoffs and all that kind of stuff, but
spoiler alert, Trey Mullinax I don't think was going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a heartbreaker for him. But but then again, that brings in FedEx Cup Fall into play, and if he's not making the playoffs, he's definitely someone that is going to want to be playing FedEx Cup Fall. So that's just an unfortunate situation for him. There really is no way to tell. When a player gets suspended, they say, "Oh, well, it was medicine. I took it accidentally. I got it over the." There's really no way to. So,
who knows?
You wanna hope for the best, but that's
and we'll see too. I think I actually should have looked at this. He's only played 2 PGA Tour events, missed the cut at both. He played a Korn Ferry Tour event, the Tulum Championship, actually, which our guy Dylan Menante won. He missed the cut at that as well, and I believe he made a professional start elsewhere as well. Missed the cut there too, but. So I don't know entirely what his status heading to 2027 is. I know his, like you said, FedEx Cup Fall would have been really important. But now you're looking at, I think it was January 16th, the suspension's up. What are we going to be looking at for Trey Mullinax?
It's the 29th. How would that be 6 months?
Oh, you're right. 26. I'm sorry. I think there was a 6 in there. Maybe not. I don't know.
How would there be a 6 in there? It's the 29th.
I don't know, Nick. I was just reading the article. I must be misremembering. But anyways, 6 months from now, then, if we want to be official, 6 months from now, what does Trey Mullinax's golf career look like? Where is he getting starts? It's got to be an interesting picture that he's, I'm sure, figuring out right now. But I don't think we'll have answers to that for a while. But yeah, just a weird doping accusations on the PGA Tour. Before we got Trey Mullinax, before we got Bryson DeChambeau, we were just like, man, he's got to be drinking 7 of those smoothies a day.
The protein shakes.
Was it Gatorade and chicken breast? That's just what the hell.
7 protein shakes, 3 fillets for breakfast.
Which that might be worse than doping.
Honestly,
I'm just workshopping a take right now live. I think if you're blending chicken breasts or fillets of steak into a protein shake, we're pushing the boundaries of what should be allowed and what shouldn't be.
Man, I was watching a video this morning of the 2020 Rocket, and it was Beefcake Bryson, and it's he's still very much ripped, but
we've brought it back a little bit though from the old days.
That guy was big back in the day.
Yeah, he was huge. He was just there's no other way to say it. He was just jacked and a large man. And it's funny always when you see the Bryson before that, the 2016 Bryson, what did he
a twig
or something? Yeah, he's just especially with that hat, it just looks totally different. It looks like
I miss the hat. Hot take. I wish he'd bring back the hat.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Actually, it's not a bad take. Well, I also just don't like the Crushers logo. I think we could workshop that one. Maybe better if that's when Apple was up there.
Well, it sounds like he might not need to wear it for that much longer, or maybe he does, because we found out this morning. It was a good transition there.
Yeah.
This morning being Wednesday. We are recording this on Wednesday, but we were supposed to have the announcement today that Live Golf was set to announce the cancellation of their team championship. According to, it was Flushing It that had the news, and it was Flushing It that had the news this afternoon that they are delaying the announcement of their actually, you know what, Liv has delayed the announcement of their team championship cancellation. There is no indication to why. Bob Herrig followed up and said their official stance is they will not have anything to say on it until after the Bedminster event. And then this was 3 hours ago. Live Golf players and staff have been sent an email by Scott O'Neill with the following updates. On the investor front, I remain encouraged by ongoing discussions with potential investors. We continue to work diligently towards an investment that supports Live 2.0. That's an interesting one.
We can't have any major Live 2.0. That's not allowed.
Yeah,
we
can't be calling it Live 2.0.
No.
I don't have
Live
a major
_V2 like it's an Excel file. Live.xlsx.
But the process is moving with strong momentum, and we are laser focused on reaching the finish line. Then goes on to say, that said, we've also begun the work of planning responsibly for 2027. That means building a competitive calendar around our highest priority markets, developing a more sustainable event and operating model, prioritizing the commercial opportunities with the greatest potential to drive long-term value, and continuing to deliver a premium experience for our players, partners, and fans. Leaders across the business are already at the table on this, not the Asian tour, and you'll see them pull their teams in as this work continues. We expect to share more details broadly by late August. So,
just not helpful. It was a really good filibuster, though. I will say that was well done. That was a lot of word salad. Finishes it with, in the meantime, let's continue to stay focused on delivering at Bedminster next weekend and planning for the individual and team championships. So we're still planning for them, I guess, even though the announcement was supposed to come today that they're canceled. I also like the broadly in late August. I'm a big fan of that. Don't tell them when you're coming. Don't let them know. Just start releasing shit out of nowhere.
There was also I read a report today that Liv is apparently selling their broadcast equipment to the highest bidder, and they're trying to sell it to the PGA and DP World Tours. Can you please buy our shit?
We got to get in on that. I mean, it can't be that expensive.
I know.
I would brought to you by Liv's retired broadcast equipment.
I could just picture in the corner of my apartment, there's a lamp right there. What if I had a broadcast tower from Live Golf Mexico City?
Man, just a neon Live sign the size of your house. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, what's not to like there? But yeah, moral of the story is Live is going to be living for at least a little while longer.
Until broadly late August.
Until broadly late August. This madness will continue until broadly late August.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much all the news we need. I would harp on Liv a little more if there was anything more to say, but they're really just, we can cook word salad with the best of them, but that was pretty good stuff by Scott O'Neill, so I won't even try. But we do have a really exciting interview coming, our first big one here with Dylan Menante. We're really excited for it. It was a great interview. I think all parties had a good time. He seemed to have a good time, Nick. I don't know, but we got some good interview, some good questions, some good responses. We learned a lot about him. He told us about Tulum Championship win. We talked about, won't tease too much about phones on courses, the shrink the game movement. Maybe you might have to stay towards the end of the interview for that, but that's all the YouTube clip. Stay till the end of this. I'm going to do. We'll get right to the interview. We had a lot of fun, but yeah, here's that interview with Dylan Menante. Some good questions, some good responses. We learned a lot about him.
All right, joining the show live from the Utah Championship, we have Korn Ferry Tour winner Dylan Menante. Dylan, how you doing today?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Can't complain. So I guess just starting it off, we have to take it to the Glen Club, your second place finish at the Evans Scholars Invitational. What really clicked for you that weekend, and what are some of the things you're taking with you this week into Utah?
Yeah, I think the putter was super nice and ball striking was really good, just to have many opportunities. Obviously, I played really solid to get second place. Super pumped with that, so confidence kind of going forward. Definitely kind of changes my perspective going to the last 7 or 8 events in terms of where I am positioning-wise and what I need to do to secure my card. So that definitely is a little bit of a relief to get a second place here, and hopefully I can continue to play well and keep the confidence going.
For sure. I know, like, one of the things that I noticed when I was there is you are probably without a doubt the fastest player I have ever seen in the world. Like, and, just looking at the Korn Ferry's, pace of play stats, you are the fastest player on tour by a full second. Like, have you always just been that fast of a player? Like, what really drives that from you?
Yeah, just always as a kid, I've always taken like two little prac swings to kind of just go, go, go. Just how I've always been. I get anxious, so I like keeping things quick, simple, and short. And I try to continue that. I mean, you got to have your intent still and your goals, obviously, on what to do and visualize. But I kind of do that stuff leading into the ball. So that's maybe why my time is pretty low compared to others, because I have a better process going into it. And it's like 10 seconds of my work is done before I hit the shot. So then when I go up to it, I'm just thinking about, like what side of the green I'm trying to hit and maybe what number I'm trying to hit and what shot shape. So I really like trying to keep it really simple.
Were you psyched when the Korn Ferry Tour told you guys that they were going to start tracking that because you knew you were going to be up near the top? Were you like, man, this is my chance to really show people how quick I can play?
That's a good question. Not really. I wasn't too psyched. So I was only on the tour last year when they started it, and then we did it after the international events. So it was cool to see your times just kind of in general. I think that's really interesting that they started releasing it to the public. I mean, that's just like for the bottom guys, it's like, woof,
Yeah.
see ya. But for me, it's cool to see like, oh yeah, like you can play well and still play good. So I think it's just like, I mean, for the golf community, every round's too slow. Everyone can agree on that. So maybe this
Yeah.
helps present itself for them to try to play a little bit faster.
And when you're playing with one of those guys, I'm not asking you to name any names, don't worry. But if you're playing with one of those guys that's a little bit slower, is it harder for you to like keep that rhythm? I imagine you're like, obviously there's only so much time you can spend walking from your ball to the green or wherever it might be. Is it a little harder to keep that rhythm and keep yourself in focus the way you talk about, like when you're playing with somebody who might be on the slower end of that?
It definitely gets frustrating on certain shots. Like you think like a basic shot, you could pull the trigger pretty fast. I think that bothers me more based on the shot. Because obviously if you're in a tough situation, everyone's gonna
Yeah.
take a little longer to get your number and get committed. But I just think like the basic shots need to go quicker. Like you've practiced before, you're a great player, you're here for a reason. So go through routine, go, stop overthinking it and just hit the shot. I
Should be
think
able
that
to.
down the stretch, I feel like it happens quite a bit. Like guys start to overthink or, like overjudge the wind or just overthink shots that are not that hard. So just trying to keep it simple is obviously really nice. But it definitely can knock you out of your rhythm if someone's like slow playing you. It's like, come on, man, we're twosome out here. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, because I know, like, you were in the first group off on Friday, so you had the whole course open in front of you, and then the next 2 days you were playing in the very final group. I know I was bouncing between you guys and Blades Brown's group on Sunday, and I saw like the Blades would start to walk away, and then like within like 3 seconds, like a ball would already be like just rolling in the fairway. Like, so how do you sort of balance that, especially being in the final round, like being in contention to win and like wanting to like not rush through your shots and like make sure you're executing the right way, but also still maintaining that rhythm as well?
Yeah, just committing to the target. I mean, like getting up to the tee, most of the time we were waiting. So I'd find my target, pick the wind direction, and just kind of already know what shot I was hitting. Then I just going through my routine and making sure I'm going through the checkpoints. I'm saying like I'm ready to hit the shot. Have my purpose in mind. So once I get those things done, like I could pull the trigger in 3 seconds. Like it doesn't really bother me, but just getting comfortable. Obviously, you don't want to hit into them. Like I think on 7 the last day, Blaze hit his shot and this caddy went to go find a divot. And I literally hit it like 5 yards behind him. And I saw him look back. I was like, oop. I mean, first of all, I never thought I don't hit as far as Blade. So I was like, oh, he's way farther than me. So I really won't get close to where he is. But it's just funny in that regard. But I think that you just have to stay committed to your shot. And whether that be 5 seconds for some people or 2 seconds for like me, it doesn't really matter. Just once I'm committed, like I already know what I'm doing and then just hitting the shot, executing.
And is there sorry, Nick, is there a different mentality when you go like in that final group? I mean, obviously you had a lot of eyes on you in the final pairing last week. You're not a stranger to that. I mean, in Tulum, you had the eyes on you and you shot up 63, which was, by the way, like we were just talking about that before you hopped on. We knew that it was a ridiculous round. You gained 10 shots on the field there and your best round by 4 on the day, which is crazy to do, especially when you've got pressure on you. So, and obviously this week too, right? Like in Utah, you're playing with Tommy Morrison and Blades Brown. There's going to be eyes on that group. Is there a different mentality that you take into that, especially with kind of you've got your rhythm, you've got your like you've got your speed. Like, is it just are you thinking about it any differently, or is it just like no, I know how to do this. Like I got this one.
You kind of got to stay to your routine and your game plan. So, like, obviously, Blades and Tommy hit it way past me. So, yeah, they're going to make maybe a couple more birdies or, have a couple cooler shots, easier shots in the greens. But I kind of got to stick to my game plan, just do what I've been doing. And it's been working for the most part. But I mean, there are times that you want to do the same thing as others, or, act the same just so you can kind of flow in the group and kind of be nonchalant hiding behind. But I mean, that's just not how I play my game. I got to do my own thing. And hopefully I can execute the way I want to and perform how I want to.
Yeah, for sure. I know like my brother is like a freak athlete with the golf club. He hits it like 315. Meanwhile, I'm happy if I can get it like 260. And like we walk up and like he's already like walking off the tee box and he's like, I got to get to my ball. So I totally get it.
He's telling you about the Walmart that can be built between your two balls. Yeah, the new IKEA
I just
Super
heard
Center.
that one. Wait, he uses data centers now. So just like not to pound like the pace of play point, but you mentioned that it's been over a year since these stats have been capped. These stats have been made public. Have you seen like a shift in how people are? Has that been affecting how people are playing on the tour? Or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, personally, you see some guys, trying to make a difference. Like I hear guys like, "Oh, I want to try to be like you." Like a couple buddies of mine, like, "Oh, maybe I'll speed up my time a little bit, try to be, a little quicker." But I think it's making a small difference. I just think they don't want to be last. Like if they're inside that number, they really don't care. 'Cause I think it's 40 seconds and you get like a 7-second barrier. So if they're in that barrier, they really don't care. And then maybe they increase by, 1 or 2 seconds just to try to be mindful. But the main thing that's happening is these excessive times where you go over like I think it's 2 minutes or a minute and a half. Those are decreasing, which is super nice because now you get auto fined if the rules official is right there. So it's like stay on your game, and you might get a warning, but I mean they're trying to present it as a auto fine right from the get go to try to get guys not to do that. Obviously, those are when you're in precarious spots or that in that regard. So they're very very rare unless you're like in a weird spot, I guess. But the cool thing is like, or not the cool thing, but 10% of the shots are thrown away on par fives for that regard. So like when you're waiting, like those shots don't go against you. So some guys can game the system, which I mean, one way to game the system is if you mark like a 1 footer and then your average stroke time for the first putt, say 30 seconds and it's 5 seconds. So if you keep doing that, your average stroke time on putting just significantly goes down. Obviously that can happen in other parts. But that's like one way to cheat the system. But I mean, guys are trying their best. I mean, everyone wants to play faster, but some guys just take longer to adapt and go through the routine. So it's much difficult for them to kind of push, push, push.
Yeah, for sure. I know, like we already touched on just sort of the 63 in Tulum. Like, what I'd love to hear just from your perspective, like what was clicking during that round? What made you gain those like 10? What was it? 10 shots, Will, to the field?
Yeah,
more even. We can give him 10.2. Let's not shave any off here.
I mean, first of all, that stat's outrageous. Like, I mean, that's crazy. It doesn't happen very often. But for me, I mean, the course is really tight. So just hitting a stinger in play, not really worrying about that shot. So that helped. I probably gained at least 1 or 2 because I think the whole week I only hit 1 ball in the hazard, which is nuts for that place. And then ball striking the last couple of days was unbelievable. Like, I just hit the green and like 20 feet, 15 feet, hit your wedges close. But putting, the last day was unbelievable. It's like one of those days, like pick and shoot, like made like a 10 footer start the day. And then, I mean, I didn't putt. I think I made a 60 footer on hole 6. So I was like, here we go. And that kind of started the run of making birdies. But I think that was really nice, just like ball striking, not making mistakes. And then when the putter's hot, it's super nice, kind of frees up the game.
I know, like, I've heard people like, I think it was Jordan Spieth back in the day that would say like when he was holding those ridiculous putts and like when he was like really hot, it would feel like the cup was just like 3 feet wide. Like, is that a similar feeling for you? Is that like invincibility feeling when you're out there when the first few start to go?
Not really. I think it's more like I pick my line and speed and they're just matching. It's like when I can get my lines going, like I feel like I can even hit a bad putt or maybe the speed I didn't intend and it'll still catch the lip. So I think that's for me, it's just seeing the line. and then knowing, I mean, I practice all the time to hopefully start on that line. So usually they combine and you make it quite a few.
Yeah, and wins obviously are, like you kind of mentioned this. You're now sitting seventh in the Korn Ferry Tour points list, and wins are huge in that regard. Like your win and your second place finish last week have really brought you into that position. And Nick and I were talking about this a little bit. I'm not going to try to jinx anything. I don't know what's going to happen. I assume you're feeling pretty confident in your position right now. Is there, I guess, is your mentality like, do you feel a little bit more at ease now that there's a little bit less of that pressure? Or are you still like, man, I gotta put another stamp on this? I mean, I'm sure you go into every week wanting to win. Obviously, everybody does. But is there a little bit of that pressure off your shoulders, or are you still kind of under that same gun?
Yeah, I'm a lot more at ease. I mean, after winning, the worst thing you want to do is finish like 21st to 28th. I think last year, obviously, there's only 20 guys that make it, 26 events. So there's 6 guys out of the gun that just don't make it after winning. I mean, guys, you don't win that often, so it's pretty nuts to, get a win under my belt. So I felt this immense pressure to kind of perform, get one, play well, and kind of just keep climbing up the leaderboard. Obviously, the second place is huge with 300 points. I'm like 1,000 now. I think last year we were talking to my agents like 1,050 maybe, or 1,100 or whatever, 1,100 points. That got like 15th, 16th. So obviously you want to finish higher because it can get you in more events, you play better, so forth. So I mean, I think there's a lot of pressure off my back knowing that I'm in a way better position than 14th, where there's 4 guys or 5 guys behind me within 50 points, which is crazy that we're so close to each other yet aspiring for this goal. So I think it's a huge weight off my shoulders to kind of play well. But I think that obviously I need to keep pushing. I mean, I would love to be in the top 5 or even top 3. So the goal is still there to keep improving. Yet I'm definitely a lot more at ease.
And I gotta ask, was there a big celebration in Tulum? It's got to be a pretty fun place to win.
There wasn't. I had a flight the next morning, so
devastating. You'll have to win it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you're not back in Tulum, I guess, but you'll have to win at a cool place on the PGA then
to truly do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, like, there's been a lot of talk, like, I guess with the previous weekend, there was just a lot of talk around the golf sphere of like the next generation of, obviously, Jackson Koiven won, Blades shot the 61 on Saturday, and even, Tommy won in his 4th career start. Like, what, just observing that, like, what is, I guess, just asking about just Blades in general. I know I spoke to Ryo Ishikawa after his round on Friday, and he talked about just playing with someone that young, even though he's 19, he almost feels like a veteran, just the way he carries himself out there. Like, have you played with Blades this season, and like what have you observed from him?
So I haven't played with him, but I've just seen other people and how they react. He is mature. I mean, his caddy's elite too. Like, that's something that maybe a lot of guys don't talk about, is like how a caddy can kind of keep a player emotions under control, and at times babysit, at times just let him free. So I think that his caddy's like super cool and lets him kind of do his thing, and yet helps him. But I mean, he's super motivated, obviously, at golf to get better, and I think he's obviously a very good player. Um, Obviously, he's only 18 or 19 years old, which is crazy that he's here, and one of the very good players. So honestly, I haven't played with him, so I couldn't give you in too much detail of like what specifically things he does as a vet, or like as a as a young guy acting like a vet out there. But
yeah, and Nick kind of mentioned this too. Tommy Morrison and Jackson Koiven grabbing wins, and they're PGA Tour U alums. You're a PGA Tour U alum. What is that program? And obviously, it's changed over the past few years. The accelerated program is a bigger deal now. Obviously, that's how Koiven got his card already. But what have you seen through that program? And guys like Ben James too are finding success on the PGA Tour. Like, how did that program help you? What kind of opportunities do you think it's giving? And also, what do you like? How do you credit just how prepared these guys are, including yourself, like coming into their professional golf careers to perform at the highest level just right out of college, or like within a year out of college? Like, it's pretty fascinating to see these guys turn it around so fast.
I think PGA Tour U is huge for college golf. I mean, just having a way to get job security where guys in the past have no option. It's absolutely huge for me. Like, I mean, going into my 5th year, even though I had a really good junior year, it's really hard to say like, oh, I'm going to play one more year. So I had 2 wins in my junior year, and I was probably going to be at worst top 10. and I ended up finishing 13th. So didn't have the best season. I think PGA Tour used an awesome opportunity to showcase golf talent. I mean, not to say it's been bad, but man, it's been good the last couple years. I mean, you have Michael Thorbjornsen, you have, I mean, obviously Koiven winning in his third start, Tommy, all these guys coming out of school already firing, kind of taking down these vets and kind of showing them like, hey, like obviously you guys are good, you've been out here for a long time, but college golf's got some real talent and something that we need to really adjust for. 'Cause, I mean, I think guys are very good. I mean, I feel like there's more guys that have played in majors like the US Open, just qualifying than ever before. And it's just outrageous how good these guys are. I mean, my class was obviously a COVID year, but it was outrageous how good the talent is from that class. And then last year, I mean, even though Caleb Surratt left, like he would have been in that class too. And it would just been outrageous to have him, Koiven, Tommy, Moss, and then my friend Luke Potter just out here. It's incredible to have these guys. You know, he got fourth place last week, Luke Potter. Moss has been doing well. Tommy had a second in Colorado, I think. So it's just incredible how good these guys are.
Yeah, and there's something to that too. Just, I mean, even beyond college, just how good young players are getting. I mean, I obviously am not in Scotty Scheffler's shoes. I'm not in any of these like great PGA Tour players' shoes. And we can talk all we want about Jackson Koiven, beating Scotty Scheffler at the 3M if we want. It was, also Scotty was the only player in the top 30 that week, I think, not to take away from that achievement. But it is something where it just feels like every year there's going to be more and more guys who are coming onto the PGA Tour super well prepared, both like mentally and physically, and are not going to like shy away from the spotlight, like playing up against Scotty. Jackson Koiven didn't shy away. Like it's going to be interesting to watch. If I had to stake my claim, it would be that golf's about to get a lot more competitive at the top. I just feel like there's so many young guys that are coming up that are really not. They're very prepared for the moment in like every possible way.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more. I think, oh yeah, I think I'll chirp in here. Like being 4 years with one program. I mean, I guess transferring, not many guys stay in one program, but staying 4 years in college, like college coaches really teach you a lot. And I think the mentality is way different. I think college course setups are way harder compared to Korn Ferry. I think that, I mean, I'm I've never shot 26 under ever in a college tournament. I know they're not 4 days, but I've never really been close. I think my best was 15. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just crazy sometimes the course setups out here. Maybe the courses are a little bit easier, or the pins maybe aren't as treacherous. But I think college, that's why guys are getting prepared because it's more like U.S. Open condition every week, like Nationals is. It's outrageous how hard Greyhawk was a couple years ago. Like I think that was like a major setup. Even though the course maybe wasn't as challenging as a major, the greens certainly were.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Is like that's the one thing that Koiven was talking about of just delaying and taking another year at Auburn just because of just how well college is preparing these players these days, and like just obviously the course conditions and the coaches as well, but like the quality of competition as well, and like the teams and the players that you're playing just on the weekly, right? That has to be a contributing factor as well.
100%. I mean, the quality of talent anywhere is crazy. I think SEC is starting to get a little more dominant because they got a lot more money for NIL. So they're kind of creating super teams. But like schools like UNC, I mean, they're trying, but we just don't. I mean, we do have the funds, but we just don't care to share them in certain ways. I think that's the one thing with NIL with golf. It's obviously a non-revenue generating sport. So it's pretty hard for these schools to dump this money, but the SEC is having no problem and they're becoming an outrageously good conference and gonna get the best players in the world, or the best players in the country, or I guess,
Yeah.
or Europe if they travel over. But it's crazy how
I've
that
got
has been changing.
I've got one more college question that's been eating at me, Dylan. It's been tough to shake. I got to know if Joe Highsmith was wearing that hat when you guys were at Pepperdine together. Is that a PGA Tour hat, or has he always been rocking that thing?
No, Joe's always rocked it. Joe's an awesome character, and that hat
Not
hasn't
something I could pull
changed.
off at all. I couldn't rock that thing. No shot.
I tried wearing the bug hat in nationals, and I just looked like an absolute idiot.
That's fine.
I
That's
tried
how I
it.
look up there.
It takes a special fit to rock the bucket hat. That's everybody wants to do it, but few can pull it off.
Yeah, he's very cognizant of his skin, so that's part of it. But he's always kind of worn it, and that's just his look. I remember him in college just wearing like tennis shoes and the bucket hat, and just go rip, and go play nine.
For sure. And I think like That's just something that people are wondering as well. Like, what does a week for you look like on the Korn Ferry Tour? So, like, obviously you've had these 3 days. So, did you you got into Utah on Monday, right?
Sunday night.
Okay, so you left
Quick
right
turnaround,
after.
man. That's a lot of travel.
And so, like, what does your week look like? What does the build up towards a Korn Ferry event look like?
So this week was a little different than last week. So in Chicago, I played the Pro-Am on Monday, which after 12, essentially the course is closed. So you play with the Pro-Am group. There's like 12 groups or so, or 18 groups or so forth, one for each hole. And then you play whatever. You get to see the course, but it's in carts. So it's a huge benefit for players if they haven't seen the course, just to go play around. Or after a couple weeks off, you just want to get back in the swing of things. So that's why I played. And then like Tuesday, for me, I do 9 holes on one side, and I'm just really grinding on the greens, understanding the rough, misses, so forth. Then I do some practice after. It ends up being like a 6-hour day. Just do a lot of putting work, a lot of chipping work, just trying to get that in dialed. And then Wednesday's another prime day. I usually do Wednesday mornings early. So they send you a time anywhere from 6:30 to 5:30 p.m. So you can be interesting or you can be kind of screwed, honestly, what time you are. But I usually get the morning times. It's been playing good. So I think it was like 7. So get, practice, do your thing. Then after the round, though, on Wednesdays, after my pro-am, it's just so busy. I mean, you have pro-am people everywhere. The greens are just packed. And I mean, not to say anything bad about Glen Club, it's just the greens are packed. So it's a big green, but there's not much practice you can do. So you kind of just fill in the gaps, and you try not to practice too much because I mean we have a 5-week break, or 5 weeks in a row. So it's just crazy to how much time you want to input versus like weather and so forth. So like this week in Utah, it's 100. It's been like 93 every day to 100. So if you're not done with your practice by 12, you're just getting cooked out here, and your energy is just diminishing. So you really got to pick and choose your battles of when you want to go, either really early or really late. And I think that's something that people probably don't see. It's like we practice quite a bit in between. And then the turnovers, a lot of people go Monday morning, Sunday night, but it just depends on your preference on what you want to do. But with 5 weeks, you really just got to manage your energy.
And you were out there last year as well, but what did you learn? What did you take away early this week that maybe you didn't quite spot last year, or maybe you forgot? It's been a year, man. A lot of stuff has happened in the past year. You never know.
I think guys have so much more intent in their practice than I did coming on this tour. I kind of just would watch people be like, oh, they're doing this drill, like I'll do it. But it's like, what am I doing it for? I mean, it's obviously helping them for a reason, but it might not help my game. So I think that's where you got to come up with your coach or whatever you work with and be like, I want to do this specific thing. This part of my game needs work every week. So for me, like I like doing lag putting. My speed kind of varies week to week. So I do a ton of lag putting in comparison to maybe other players. And then I try to hit more wedges just because I want to get them more dialed, and I feel like it can be a good barrier for my swing. And if I hit it bad, you can chip out, hit a good wedge shot, so it can kind of scramble and save you. So maybe those are two things that I kind of focus on more than other players, and just trying to get my game better. But it's really just having intent, knowing what you're there for, and not over practicing. So I mean, it can happen to the best of us. We see a guy over here grinding, trying to get better. It's like he's not getting better, or he's working on the wrong stuff. Like just do your thing and kind of keep going.
And then this is from something I was reading earlier, like some profile from you at UNC. You mentioned, speaking of your wedges, that the best shot you ever hit was at the Northeast Am, 54 degree, 105 yards, lipped it out, made that birdie putt. You might remember it. You won that tournament by 9 shots. Is that still the best shot of your career, or have we graduated? Was there a shot at Tulum maybe that stands out, or is that still the top of the list for you?
No, I think I've hit. I mean, that was just a big shot in the moment, but I mean, maybe not my biggest shot, but probably a biggest shot then. I had this shot in Raleigh this year was outrageous. I was in the bunker and I had a tree in front of me, and then I had a limb that had to go around to hit a draw. And I'm not a good bunker player from the fairway, and I hit the shot to the front edge of the green. And I was just shocked. I mean, me and my caddy were just like, "Holy cow, how good was that?" I was expecting just to have to grind to make par, yet now have a chance for birdie. I think it's one of the best shots I've ever hit.
Was it like the draw version of that Tiger bunker shot where he gets that finish twirled like all the way like that? I'm not comparing you to Tiger, Dylan, not yet. But I mean, gotta have this. Did you have a cool little finish move to get that draw to go?
No, I was just looking through the tree like, please don't clip it.
90% air, man. That's what they say, right?
Yeah, they do. Somehow they'll keep hitting them and they bounce off.
Feels like the opposite. But.
And so I know you had mentioned on, I think, was the Thursday, that tee shot on 8, like the 3-wood just like over the water. You said that was one of the purest shots that you've hit in a while. Like where does that rank on that list?
It's not very high. It's just like in the moment pulling it off. I feel like you would need that shot for a major, something down the road, maybe on tour, or it's like a difficult shot and you got to kind of push the barrier. And that's just like super nice shot to hit. Definitely not like a top 10 or even top 20 shot. It's just super nice to be able to know I have that shot. As then I tried to hit it on Sunday and I ended up in the left water. So yeah, that was a nice shot for that instance, but it shows I still need some work.
For sure. Like you had mentioned just sort of the conditions of just the greens that week. I think as it got warmer progressively throughout the day, you saw the greens like really like firm up and evolve throughout the day. Obviously Sunday was a real scorcher. Like how did you observe that and how did it prepare you? Because like you said, it's going to be just as hot this week in Utah as well.
Yeah, I mean, out there, the greens definitely got firmer the last 2 days. The first 2 days, they're pretty receptive. You could go for, I think the scores showed that. But I mean, this week the greens are the huge defense, so they just absolutely cook them. I mean, it feels like a major, what a major should feel like out here, just because some of the bounces you take, and if you hit in the rough, I mean, you're going front edge all day and just hoping to kind of kick on. But I think that's like the huge, toughest part about this course is just the green. So they're going to try to trick them out. They're going to have some really tough pins. So obviously, you just take being patient from last week, and obviously you can hit the shots at 20 feet, and hopefully you make the putt, and just kind of be patient and hope you don't make mistakes. So I mean, being short-sighted on firm greens with long, thick rough is a no-no auto bogey. So try to stay away from that.
Are you looking forward to playing with Tommy for the second week in a row? I assume you guys got to spend some good time together on Sunday and get to know each other. I mean, you already knew each other, I'm sure, but are you guys looking forward to getting another couple rounds in, I guess, Thursday and Friday?
Yeah, I mean, I like Tommy a lot. I think he's obviously a super good player. We started talking a little bit in the back nine, but I've known him for a couple years when he was at Texas and I was still playing college. Obviously, a super good guy. I just thought the group was pretty interesting to go from final pairing to here, but sure, why not? And then add Blades in there, so it'll be, I think, a lot of eyes. I've never played with Blades, but I know every week he has a big crowd, so I think this week will be interesting because I really haven't had to deal with that. I mean, the last day in Chicago, I mean, not that many people were there, but I think all the crowd goes to Blades, so it should be interesting.
Are you going to give him a little reminder that you got the better of him at Tulum?
No,
I don't think you're not going to give him a little nudge on the first tee.
Absolutely not. No, I'm not that kind of guy.
No,
you kind of fall behind the radar.
Yeah, nobody was beating you with a 63. I don't think. I think Blades wasn't too mad to watch you win that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think he got like second or third, so I don't think he's too sad.
He was solo second. He walked off pretty happy. He's all right.
Yeah,
he's doing okay for himself, I think.
Yeah,
and so like I feel like that was one of the things that the Korn Ferry guys were asking players throughout the weekend of like, what's the one thing you do off the course, aside from talking to us, of course, like what would be the one thing you do to separate from the game of golf? Like how would you be spending an evening like tonight ahead of
this is the opposite of separating from the game of golf, by the way. This is going deeper into it, but
yeah, honestly, I like to lift. I think that's been something I've really started to enjoy. I mean, the problem is I don't wait long enough in between sets. So my workouts last like 35 minutes. So, I mean, definitely try to lift, get stronger. I mean, if I want to have any chance on tour, I got to get my ball speed up. So I've been just grinding on trying to get the ball speed up. I think I'm like 70. And then this week, obviously, it's hot and humid, or hot and the ball's going far. So I'm like 77. So that's super nice to see that. But besides that, I mean, you read, you just kind of disconnect. My family comes a lot, so I like to play board games with them or, just walk outside, do some basic activities. I don't play like tennis or pickleball, even though they're my passions. I feel like I just get hurt. And then it's like, oh man, I got hurt playing pickleball at a golf tournament. Like, what am I doing? So it's really hard to kind of like pick and choose, what activities you want to try rather than, rather than get hurt or like overcook some part of your muscle, after I work out, maybe my hamstring or my ACL or my knees, something wrong for me, like a quick jab. So you got to pick and choose. I think spending quality time with family and friends is a big one.
Well, nobody's safe. If the best in the world can get hurt making ravioli, I think you can get hurt doing anything. Really.
Yeah, that was an interesting story.
You never want to be that guy that has the weird injury that everybody's talking about.
No, I mean, here we are joking about it. It's lasted long enough. You're a big Raff and a Nadal guy, right, Dylan?
Yeah, I love tennis. I mean, I just love his intensity and so forth. I always try to keep in touch with, I know the scores, and if I can watch, great. But I mean, most of the matches are coming back to New York now for US Open, so at least we'll get a
Yeah.
couple of hardcore matches to watch here pretty soon.
Who's your active player that you really like?
I mean,
Or like,
Alcaraz because he's
yeah.
Spanish, but I mean, he's just so good, so quick. I mean, Sinner's obviously insanely good too. I just don't like the doping stuff. So I'm like, I'll pick a guy who's cleaner and likes to
Yeah.
party a little bit, likes to rip. But Alcaraz
Is
is awesome.
is there stuff you take from their games that you kind of have like picked up watching them or watching Nadal that you're like, oh, that's something that, I mean, obviously the swing doesn't translate, but is there something about the mentality that translates to your game a little bit?
I love when they say vamos after like a winner down the line. I think
Are
that
you
in
doing
golf,
that?
no. But I mean, maybe internally, like, come on, like that was a six shot. Now I got to make birdie. But I think that mentality, or just like even when you're down in the point or long rally for Alcaraz, I mean, he finds a way to win or hits an insane winner. So maybe for golf terms, I hit a wayward shot, got to scramble for par, and I do it. But I mean, it's really hard to connect the two sports because I mean, theirs is way more physical than ours. But I just love watching the intensity.
Mhm. And so I wanted to ask as well, like, just being the last week in Chicago, I know, well, I guess suburbs wasn't really Chicago, but Chicago has been, I'm from the suburbs, I can say that. Chicago's been touted as like a site for one of the new events in 2028 with the new schedule. So I'm curious, like, what was your experience this past week, like in Chicago, and what would you think to a future site there?
I love Chicago in terms of where we were staying. I mean, in the city, I wouldn't love it as much. But the food action there, I'm a foodie, is unbelievable.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I went to a Greek place, I went to a Spanish place, went to Asian market, Japanese market. It's just unbelievable the variance of food you can get. So, I think it helps with all cultures. I mean, you can feel comfortable wherever you are. I think the courses are unbelievable. Chicago golf's unbelievable in summer. Obviously, in winter, you can't play. But I mean, the main issue with Chicago is there's not many good courses with ranges. So I mean, that's why I think Glen Club is a great club that we get to play because we get to hit drivers. And I think that really sucks if you can't. So I mean, I'm pumped to have Glen Club, but I mean, there's Chicago Golf, there's Shore Acres. There's all these courses you can list off that are maybe have more history and maybe considered higher in terms of golf course architecture. But I mean, Chicago's a great place.
You'd have to convince the membership too, which is always a step when you're looking at like Chicago Golf Club, Shore Acres. It's going to, are they going to be willing to shut down their golf course for a couple of weeks?
No chance.
Yeah. Were there any good restaurants from this past week? Maybe I recognize a name or two, or
I mean, my friend always takes me to Ming Han. It's a Chinese place.
okay.
It's so good. And I was the only
Uh-huh.
white person there last time, and it was
that's
so
how
good though.
that's how you know it's good though. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's when you get the best food.
I went to this place
absolutely.
called Platea, the
Ooh,
Greek
that's a good
place.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, they got recommended to me. It was very good. So maybe
What's the
those
best
two.
stop on tour for food? Golf aside,
Chicago's up there. I'm trying to think.
Utah.
Yeah, Ogden's got a lot of great spots. Um, I mean, honestly, In and Out's here, so I don't mind it that much. But
That's good enough. That's all you need, really.
yeah, so I mean, I think Chicago's probably up there.
hmm And I did want to ask as well, like on the subject of the future, there's still like a lot of stuff that needs to be ironed out between like the whole championship challenger series. One of those is what the Korn Ferry Tour is going to look like in this new professional golf landscape. Has there been any communication with you guys as to what that might look like, or are you guys just kind of in the dark about that as well?
So we got that same memo you guys got, or that the public's seen. But we're having a players meeting next week, so I think that'll give light to a lot more of what's going on. I think if you want to ask like a rules official or PGA Tour personnel, they'll 100% give you more answers on what it's looking like. I think they're still probably determining what they want and what they don't want as well, since it's still one more year. But next week they'll give us a lot more information. But I mean, honestly, good golf takes care of itself, even though like the purses will double for the Challenger Series. That'd be awesome. I don't know if it'll be on Corn Ferry or what, but that'd be, obviously awesome to be there and compete for that much money. I mean, obviously you can make money now, but having double the purse is crazy. I mean, you could actually make like a serious living.
Yeah, I mean, just counting up the numbers of like the field sizes they've projected, it's obvious to see where the championship series comes from, right? It's in the top 144. I'm sure they pull some guys from DP World Tour, guys up from Korn Ferry, maybe even the top one or two from Americas. But when you get into the Challenger Series, it's just been purely based on the numbers. I'm like, well, where are we getting these guys? Are we cutting? If the Korn Ferry still exists, right, or is it all getting rolled up? So yeah, like you said, I'm sure we'll get answers in the near future. We're already getting some of that. I think 3 events have been nailed down for the championship series in the last 3 days. So it seems like we're trending towards some news soon, hopefully. And then we'll get some of the Tour Championship. But
yeah, another note about that series is that I think it's awesome how there's no more sponsor exemptions. Obviously, you want to give those guys an opportunity if they're hometown heroes or something like that. But I think golf should be purely based on how you play. Obviously, many people have had sponsor exemptions and gotten to where they are, but playing well and getting yourself there should be the primary focus. So I really like the direction of that personally.
yeah, I like, maybe this is my fandom for other leagues bleeding into. I like the fact that there's, at the start of the season, the championship series and the Challenger Series are set, barring like a few exceptions, similar to how the Korn Ferry works now, right? If you win a couple times, you can get immediate promotion. That still exists, but broadly, it's like, no, this is who's playing in the championship series, and you got to fight it out for the season in the Challenger Series to get yourself into that spot. I think that makes a little more sense and makes it easier from a fan perspective, at least, to be like, okay, this is who I'm following. These are the guys here, these are the guys here, and that's it. I don't need to be tracking who's bouncing down to Puerto Rico, who's going to be at Cognizant, who's going to be where. Makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, in addition to that, something to talk about is that for sponsors, this new Challenger Series will be huge because you know what you're getting. 'Cause that was like one of the reasons my agent was saying, and maybe various other people were saying, why Wells Fargo pulled it of Quill Hollow, is that they weren't getting the top 10 guys anymore. Guys were skipping that event since it wasn't an elevated event, and they weren't getting the best guys. So they want to put the money forth to get the best event forward and to get the fans best experience and to make money back. So I think that'll be huge going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know like we've seen like sort of the small events like take a hit over the years as well. Like the John Deere Classic hasn't really produced some of the greatest fields. We were even talking this morning, like the field for the Rocket this week like looks arguably stronger than it has been in years past as well. So I think having those like defined fields, as you said, like would definitely be a benefiting factor moving forward, I'd say.
Is there anything else you want to cover, Nick? I think we've taken up a lot of your time already, Dylan.
Yeah, I think those are just more. I think that's pretty much everything that we've prepared, at least. So, is there anything? I guess the one thing is like, what would be the one thing that people don't see from the Korn Ferry Tour grind that you would want fans to see?
Maybe our practice schedules. I feel like a lot of people just think of like, oh, it comes out of thin air. Everyone says like, oh, you got so lucky, you won. Like the amount of grit and determination and work you put in just to win and make it out here. I mean, this year with only 60 cards, guys retaining their cards is, very low. So it's very hard to say like the game's growing, so big and all these guys are coming in. So I think that it's super hard to keep your card. Obviously, this year my goal was to keep my card this year, and obviously the win changed that quite a bit because I missed 5 cuts this year by 1 shot, so it's like that really is hard. So I think that, and then maybe something that guys miss is like the mental stuff of the cut. Something completely different from college that guys are obviously having no problems with is, oh, I got to birdie the last one to make the cut. Like we've never experienced that before. Unless you're playing USAM or Western Am, there's only a few tournaments where there's like a cut that really makes a difference. So I think that's maybe 2 things, like the mental anguish of trying to make the cuts huge.
What's it like that the 5th time you missed the cut by 1? Not to hammer down on a painful subject, but like how do you? Obviously, I tend to believe that athletes in general, professional athletes, have a little bit of a screw loose. Just the amount of time you guys are all willing to commit to your craft and, like you said, grind and get better. A screw loose in a complimentary way, by the way, but. How do you turn around from like you said, missing 5 cuts by 1 stroke to then battle back for a second last week or shoot a 63 in the final round at Tulum and just like trust your game and know that this might have happened. I was on the wrong side of the break here, but like trust that you're going to be able to find it and be on the right side of the break a couple times.
Yeah, the thing you have to go through is being like mentally, why did I miss the cut? I think for me, like maybe my first two missed cuts, I was in the cut line with a couple holes to go, and I literally bogeyed the two of the last three in Abaco for my first missed cut. So that's a mental mistake, big time. Either I wasn't prepared since we had to come back the next day to finish, or just wasn't executing the shots. I think a lot of the time the mental comes in. So I mean, you get nervous, you want to make money, you want to keep getting better. But I think that's something that people have to take a really inward look of how am I taking this mentally. And I think going from, I mean, I went miscut, win, miscut. I mean, it's just crazy how golf can change so much, and that's just something that's really hard. Some courses fit better, um, fit people's games better than others, and that's why guys on tour like take certain weeks off. I mean, not bearing, they need time off. It's not an elevated event, but I mean, some courses just don't fit your game. Like maybe Torrey's a good example. It's pretty close to where I live. I mean, you can get up to 7,500, super thick rough. So if you're a guy that hits it straight, you're gonna love that event. If you're a guy that doesn't, then you're gonna skip it. So I think that's something to take into consideration too. But I think just staying with your goal and just keep working on the things I need to get better on. And each week that changes. I mean, obviously lag putting and wedges is something I've talked about earlier. So I mean, I'm just constantly on the grind to trying to get better in those regards. But just getting better and keep trusting your game and keep getting your mental game better and stronger and figuring out. For me, like I like saying cues down the stretch. I mean, they kind of depend, but it's like pressure is a privilege, or like I want this pressure, or just random stuff. Like I say, three more birdies, so like three more, three more, three more. Just constantly engaging in that rather than give into the pressure.
Mhm, for sure. And I guess I'll give you a two-parter to close us out, unless Will has anything else. What is the best course you've ever played, and what is the course that you want to play the most in your career?
Sure. And best course I've ever played is Augusta. I mean, hands down, no brainer. I mean, shout out to Pepperdine and UNC for both allowing me to, meet members and have that opportunity, as, not many people have. Course that I really want to play, I'm a very US centric golfer, so I haven't played Pine Valley. I mean, Pine Valley, Marion, like places up there are just unbelievable. I mean, Pine Valley is a incredible course with history and its ranking. I just want to see why it's so hard. So I'd love to get out there.
For Augusta, I'm curious, like how much of that experience? I mean, obviously it's a great course. Like everybody wants to play. Alistair McKenzie did a fantastic job, but like, how much of that experience was like especially the first time, I guess, is like just I'm at Augusta and I'm playing Augusta National, and how much of it is like, wow, this hole is like really interesting. These like canted fairways, trying to like 10 is a hole that comes to mind for me. Like you're trying to get to that green with the fall off left, where you've got the ball above your feet if you're a righty, I guess, ball above your feet on the right hand side there. Like and maybe it took a second. Did it take to your second time at Augusta to kind of get out of the holy shit, I'm at Augusta National bubble and get to the like, this course is actually pretty sick?
Yeah, I think you're in awe until you make a bogey and you're like, holy crap, this course is hard.
And how long did that take?
I think I missed on the very first hole. So the first time I played, it was like 39 and freezing. So I think I had 5 iron into one. So I mean, on 10, I had driver 3 wood. So just to tell you about the difficulty of the course, like imagine it feeling like playing 8,000 just because it's cold and windy. But I think you're in awe of just like how beautiful it is and how like nothing's out of place. And then once you get to the greens, you're like, this place is too hard. Like I can't play here every day. It's just too hard.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the no phone policy. I think we got to bring that to tournaments in general. I've been to Augusta once to play, not to play, to watch the Masters. I was there for like 2 days. I was also working at a job I wasn't a huge fan of at the time. So just being like, actually, guys, you can't even contact me if you wanted to, like, and then just also getting to sit there and appreciate the golf in a way that you don't when you're, it sounds very boomer of me, but like when you're filming it through a cell phone, it's a really, really cool place. And obviously would love to play it someday. And it sounds like it's, worth the effort to get out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you get the invite, you can't turn it down.
No.
I think the no phone thing's really interesting subject, like talking about shrinking the game. I mean, you keep seeing these things like the fans would like shrink the game, but I can't imagine like the shenanigans on tour. I mean, I didn't see any on 3M, but just in previous tournaments of how it's kind of getting out of hand.
Well, golf is so interesting because it's one of the few sports where one is just so intimate. Like you're on an open field together, and if you hit the ball even slightly offline, you're within 4 feet of, like, I'm standing 4 feet from a professional golfer, from X person, whatever. And it's like, theoretically, I would never do this, and hopefully nobody ever does this, but it is unique in the fact that like it's just so dependent on people like me, on fans, just being like, actually, I'm not going to scream right now. Like I'm deciding that, like, because it would be
the
so
intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like, I mean, at a football game, like they're about to take the snap, even for a field goal. At a basketball game, you're like intentionally when they're doing free throws, your hands are up, you're trying to make them miss. At a golf tournament, it's like it's really predicated on just like making sure that nobody wants to toe that line, and it feels like we're, like you said, I mean, we saw it happen at the U.S. Open, we've seen at the Ryder Cup. Maybe New York's the problem, I don't know, or the Northeast is the problem. But there's I'm a New Yorker, I can say that, but there's maybe we're getting a little close to that line. It definitely seems like it's
100% agree. I think the Ryder Cup was absurd. Like I can't imagine being a European and they won. I mean, they killed us, but holy cow!
And I can't imagine. Bethpage is one of the few courses that I've played, and that course is so hard, and I don't have to deal with 40 people standing within 3 feet of me, like calling me. I'm not even going to repeat what they said to Rory or Shane, like just horrific stuff as I'm trying to hit an already impossible golf shot.
Mm-hmm. Or blasting little rubber ducky from the drinks in the backswing.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say you're team shrink?
I mean, I don't want to sound too pessimistic about the game. Like that. But yeah, I mean, I'd probably prefer shrink compared to some of these people. I mean, kids screaming in swings is like, I mean, I could just remember Tiger. He had to go through like 2 practice swings, and the top he just stopped because the kid screamed, and the third time he hit it, and the kid screamed again. Like, that's just not fun. Like, that's not what golf's meant to be. So, I mean, if it's going to be like that, I'm team shrink.
Yeah, and also I imagine, like, from a golfer perspective, like, the second that ball starts to roll, like, there's already enough shit. Maybe you're different. There's already enough shit going on in my head when I'm standing over a golf ball. If I'm also thinking, like, when I get to the top of my swing, there's, like, a 50-50 shot that somebody's going to say something offensive, and I just got to power through that thing. It's like I don't want to also have to weigh that thing that prospect when I'm about to try to hit an iron into a green or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Got to be mentally resilient. I got to learn that. I definitely don't have that.
I was going to say that's why you're a professional and I'm not, but I guess maybe you need to work on that too.
Oh yeah, I mean, like Tiger getting stuff thrown at him or dropping stuff when you're hitting it. Like if my college coach dropped a bag like to try to practice us, and I like completely, it was on a driver tee shot, I had like 100 yards right. It's like, what was that? It's like, you got to get used to that. I was like, oh, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a moment like Jackson Coyven had on that 18th tee, just taking a driver divot 3 inches behind the ball?
I mean, I've had similar things, not the chunk driver, but just like healing the mess out of it, and then just still being fine, or the one-hand finish like Hideki. But I mean, I think all of us have it, or just being frustrated executing a shot and it works out fine.
Yeah, that was the devastating part of it. Is that was 260 down the fairway. It's like, man, just that hurts to watch somebody like that hit the worst tee. Like he said, it was the worst swing of his life or something like that, or the worst swing you can remember. And I was like, I would take that 12 times out of 10.
It's just it's that perspective. I know, like Will and I were playing around like a few months ago, and like I had made like a really bad bogey where I chipped it like 20 yards over the green, and like I think I might have even been it was a bogey, and I was just so pissed walking to the next tee box, and Will, you said to me like, isn't it nice that we are so pissed at a bogey, like just that perspective as well.
Oh yeah,
like some of your worst shots are probably the best shots we're ever going to hit in our lives. Like, and just that perspective, like from a fan perspective, watching some of these shots it's night and day. Like, I feel like golf is one of those things, like, because you could watch a baseball game, you could watch a basketball game, but I feel like if all golfers should try to at least watch a professional tournament and see how you guys go about it, and it would absolutely change their perspective on how they play as well.
Yeah, I think that taking perspective from golf or like how we play is huge. Course management, I mean, every single guy wants to get to a par 5 and 2. I'm just sorry, you're not going to get there every time. Even I don't get there. I mean, I'm a short hitter. I'm just used to laying up. But I think that's something maybe a average golf fan can take is like, you don't need to mash the driver, like get it in play, keep it in the fairway, hit the most greens you can, and then you're going to shoot a lower score just from course management, beating your buddies rather than just, oh, I'm going to hit this one as hard as I can.
Yeah, well, that's what they say, right? Like the jump from being a 15 handicap to being a 7 handicap is just double bogey avoidance. Just get those out. Like, just put the ball in front of you. I was going to ask too. I was just thinking about this because sometimes you hear about, and obviously golf takes up so much of your time on the Korn Ferry Tour. Do you like have time to follow the PGA Tour, or is that kind of an afterthought for you? Like when you do you have guys that you like on the PGA Tour that you're a fan of? Is it more of a job at this point? And you obviously are also golfing while they're golfing, so it makes it a little harder to actually keep track of the nitty gritty.
Yeah, honestly, I don't watch the PGA Tour at all. I think that we have so much golf around us. Like I watch certain events, like I watch Augusta and the US Open and probably British, and that's about it. Like every
No
year,
love for the
I think
PGA Championship, man.
I have some hot takes on that one.
It's okay.
Won't
We
say
could get
those.
into that, man. I've got a lot. I've on this podcast said that I think they should just lean into being a birdie fest. That should be the brand. Just go for it. Screw it, man.
Birdie
Make
fest.
make that the tournament.
Yeah, so I'll say this. I don't care if you use it or not. But last week, this guy, so Mahanth, he went to Pepperdine, played with him in the practice round, and his caddy is a PGA member, and he played in the waste management, and he tries to play in the PGA every year. So I was like, oh, so how does this work? Because, like, I mean, as a player, I could pay my whatever, 10, 15 grand to be a PGA member, go through the full 2-year process, and then potentially get on. But he said there's regulations against it. But I was like, oh, man, that's the move. Play a major.
Yeah.
My first major, just do that.
Yeah, seriously.
Hell yeah. So I guess those are pretty much all the Will, unless you have anything else.
Well, I was going to ask, and you can tell me if this doesn't work because I know you don't watch the PGA, but I was going to ask you if there's a guy on the PGA Tour that you would comp yourself to now. And then also, I know you said you're chasing swing speed. Is there like somebody that you're looking at to be like, especially from, we could all say Scotty Scheffler, right? Like, that'd be sick. Is there a guy from like a driver perspective or an off the tee perspective that's worked on that way? You know, Matt Fitzpatrick, Xander Schauffele are examples that come to mind that you're kind of trying to exemplify in that process of gaining a little bit more speed.
I mean, my swing's so unique. I wish I could have a player comp, but there's no one with as much lag as I have. I mean, maybe Sergio back in the day. I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me if I don't really have, a player comp because I kind of just want to be my own person, own brand,
As long
whatever.
as it works.
But I mean, Xander, he went from 175 to 189, I think, in a year. And his trainer, he used to live in San Diego, and now he lives in Florida. Kind of goes back and forth. I mean, his trainer must have done miracles. Like I don't know how you do that.
And he kept it straight too, which was like the crazy part. I remember when he won the PGA of Valhalla, but we can talk about whether or not Valhalla was a real tournament. But then he went out and won the Open Championship, and that was when I just remember him hitting just BBs off the tee like 330. I was like, dude, where are we pulling this from? Like, where the hell are we grabbed? Like to have the it's one thing to like gain the speed, right? But to gain the speed and keep the ball in front of you and keep it as consistent as he did in that 2024 season, I was like blown away. I truly have, like you said, no idea what curses or what Etsy witch they hired to make that happen.
Yeah,
the witch doctor was on site.
The witch doctor might have been on site. I don't know. Somebody was.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, that's the thing. Like Hao Tong Lee talked about it. Like I was trying to gain distance in Bryson, like in COVID, and he said all I did was hit snap hooks. So it's like it's crazy to be able to put the 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Dylan. This was really great.
Yeah,
thank you. Really appreciate it, man. Have a good one and good luck this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, that was Dylan Menante. Really good interview. Went pretty long. I was pretty, we got a lot out of that. Excited to see what he can do this week in Utah. Again, we're getting a pretty star-studded pairing there, or trio, I should say. Blades Brown, Tommy Morrison, and Dylan Menante, the top two from last week. Just throw Blades Brown in there as well. It is interesting to make them play together back-to-back weeks, Tommy Morrison and Dylan Menante. But
it's a marquee group.
It's a marquee group. A lot of eyes on that. And as we know from him, when the eyes are on him, like they were in Tulum, he shoots a 63 4 strokes better than anybody else in the field and gains over 10 shots on the field. So basically, we can expect, give or take, 40 shots gained this week. I think that's a safe bet. I'm kidding. Don't expect that. But I hope he plays well this week. We'll see as the end of the season wraps up, and knock on wood, seemingly he'll progress to the PGA Tour for 2027. He's somebody we'll have our eye on for sure. Nick, I don't know, anything that you took away from that you want to harp on before we get to our next on the tee? Was there anything major?
I mean, I've said this before already, but if we had more Dylan Menantes on the PGA Tour, the world would be a lot better of a place. Like,
man,
pace of play,
yeah,
that
he
dude's
is.
inspiring.
I think we said it, but just to drive that point home, he is the fastest player on the Korn Ferry Tour. They've got those stats public. He is the fastest on the Korn Ferry Tour by a lot. And I forget exactly what it was. I think there's one. I think it's just approach play is the one that he's second. Everything else he's first in. First being fastest, by the way. So, yeah, we could use a couple more of those. I think Ryan Fox was a good example of that too. Just fast golfers play good golf, apparently. Ask Ryan Fox out at Royal Birkdale. He just lifted the claret jug. So, can't be the worst thing in the world to be a fast golfer. And I agree with what he was saying too, that it just kind of, you don't need all that time. You can take the 10 seconds that you're walking up to the ball to do the mental checklist that you need to do. It doesn't take 30 seconds to do that mental check. If it takes 30 seconds to do the mental checklist,
you got to step off.
You've got other problems. We've got too much on the checklist if it's going to take 30 seconds. But yeah, we had an absolute blast with Dylan. Hopefully not the last we hear from him. We will definitely be tuned in over the next few weeks and years and months, whatever time period you want to go with to his career. In the meantime, we'll be back with you on Monday for a more standard episode. We're going to be recapping the AIG Women's Open. We are going to be recapping the Rocket Classic. Will Jackson Coiban be coming off of back-to-back wins? Will we be, I don't know who else might win. Cam Young, maybe. I think he's the favorite, right? Xander Schauffele. We gave Xander Schauffele a shot to that driver. If he keeps that thing straight like it was in 2024, maybe he wins at the Rocket Classic. But we'll be recapping all of that for you on Monday. In the meantime, we will be coming out with our picks for both the AIG Women's Open and the Rocket Classic. Nick, should we do both, or should we just do the AIG Women's Open?
I think we could do both.
We can.
Yeah, that gives me twice the opportunity to come.
Gives
back.
all of us twice the opportunity. Should we just let you do both? Should we let you do both? And we don't have to.
That would be like. Can you give me a ×2 bonus multiplier up until the FedEx?
We
Cup
can,
playoffs?
but if your guy misses the cut, we're gonna put you back to 0.
Ooh, that's a tough one right there.
No, we'll be getting those picks out on Twitter, on X, I should say.
They will already be out by the time you're listening to this.
That's true. That's very true. Go look at them. See how quickly we've fallen. You'll be able to probably tell that either Nick or my pick is already shot.
Find out who I picked for the Rocket. I don't know who I'm picking for the Rocket yet. Find out who you'll know before I do.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time, but hey, maybe we'll get it right. Maybe we'll go 2 for 2. You never know.
Yeah.
But those will be out on X. If you haven't been watching on video, the ticker at the bottom is showing you all of our social media, including X/Twitter, because I never know which to call it, but it's at Center Cup Pod. The Instagram is at centercup.pod. This is scrolling too slowly for my liking right now. TikTok at centercup.pod as well, the same as the Instagram. And as always, email inbox is dry, apart from emails from Twitter and our podcast service. But centercup.pod, whoa, voice crack. That's how dry our email inbox is. That's making my voice crack. centercup.pod@yahoo.com. Please email us so we take advice. No criticism, actually. It hurts our feelings. So only compliments. But
you know what's our theory, Will?
What's our theory, Nick? Who's our?
Me and Kyle, we had this theory this morning that we actually are getting emails, and you just can't see them because you're locked out, or B, you're hiding them from us intentionally, trying to maintain this attention seeking.
I thought I was locked out. I did get in, and there was a lot of emails from X.com in that inbox, but there was no emails from somebody not named X.com or our podcasting service. I don't know why I'm hiding it. It's not particularly relevant, but whatever. There was no people. It was all bots. I was only getting emailed by bots, unacceptable stuff. Maybe next week will be different. Maybe this will be the week we break through. We get a couple emails. You never know. Maybe Dylan Menante is going to bring that Tulum magic to us and get us a couple emails in the inbox. You never know.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. And then next Wednesday, I believe, or Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll be coming to you as well with a preview. Is it the Wyndham next week? Is that the?
I think so. Yeah.
And that, I believe,
that sounds right,
is the final it is indeed the Wyndham Championship, and that is the final pre-playoff event. So I think we're going to have to do a little special segment of Bubble Watch, maybe a little Bubble Watch. Not Bubba Watson. I almost said Bubba Watch, but we're going to do Bubble Watch.
I heard Bubba Watson.
I heard it too. That's why I repeated it.
Bubba Watch. That's what I heard.
Bubba Watch. We could do Bubba Watch as well.
I'd
just
love
have
to
it branded
Bubba Watch.
pink with Bubba Watson. We could have Bubba Watson on the show if he wants to do Bubba Watch with us. Actually, this is a great idea. Somebody get me Bubba Watson's agent ASAP. We'll do bubble watch next week. We're going to talk about some of the guys that are going to need to perform well. We talked about it earlier. Jackson Koiven currently sitting 70, Michael Thorbjornsen 69. Mac Meissner, one of the guys on the outside looking in. There's a few just outside that bubble that it's going to be a storyline to follow over the next week or two, and we will be sure to highlight that next week as we head to the Wyndham and probably Monday as we recap the Rocket to see if there's been a bunch of movement there. Anyways,
now you got me on Bubba Watch. Yeah, I'm on Bubba Watch right now. He finished T31 at Live Golf
Bubba
UK.
Watch. Oh, okay. I thought you were
Bubba
on Bubble Watch.
No, I'm on Bubba Watch right now. He finished 9th at Live Golf Andalusia.
Where's he in the FedEx Cup rankings? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
That was the worst joke I've ever made on this podcast. I'm really sorry. That's the cue for us to kind of wrap it up. But yeah, next Monday, next Wednesday, or maybe Tuesday, we'll put it on our Twitter, on our X, whatever you want to call it. Find us there. Thank you all for listening. Nick, any final thoughts?
Nope. Let's have a good weekend of golf. Yeah.
Go Dylan Menante. Get another win. Jump up to the top 5. Why not?
Yes.
On the Korn Ferry Tour. That's our final thought.
Get on the PGA Tour, and don't forget us when you do.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. That's a great end. But yeah, thank you all for listening. If you made it this long, we had a lot of fun with this one. Great to have a good interview. Hopefully more of those to come in the very near future. So, keep refreshing the timeline because we'll be coming at you with a couple good things soon, especially as the golf season winds down. So thank you all for listening for the third time, I think. Enjoy the rest of your week, and let's have a good golf weekend.